Running through the city, I'm a boss bitch. Flossing, stunting on my ex bitch. Check this, music with the message. Stressless, that's it. Climbing out the trenches. Run quick, one shot, don't miss. Working through emotions. Mixing up another magic potion. Through the motions, just one more time. Damn girl, she's fine. Thinking that's one of a kind. Yeah, but got you stupid blind. Like a Rubik's Cube, lost in your mind. Okay, damn. I'm in love with the money now. Slugs wanna bring me down. Earth keeps on spinning around. Do you like an ultrasound? Antic with the ultrasound. When we gonna get it now? Feel like time is running out. Turn on the lights, don't dim them down. I'ma shine so bright, we gonna turn it loud. Crowd ignites as we burn it down. Just some cats from a small town that made their way all around. It's on now. Out the dream catching, took a mean lesson, converted to steam engines. I'm burning my past sentence, cut freed in my last sentence. Worthy in black linen, turning the past wishing I could give you this last message. Tell your mother that God sent you. Don't get too broken hearted, cause I'm with ya. Obstacles stall, but I'm quicker. Never let your dreams fall, just fall bigger. I'm in love with the money now. Slugs wanna bring me down. Earth keeps on spinning around. Do you like an ultrasound? Antic with the ultrasound. When we gonna get it now? Feel like time is running out. Turn on the lights, don't dim them down. I'ma shine so bright, we gonna turn it loud. Crowd ignites as we burn it down. Just some cats from a small town that made their way all around. It's on now. In the coffins, let's all win. Clock ticks, now the lights dims. Hat tricks with bright hems. Ecstatic the fact that she likes him. Heart on a flash, she attacked him. Struck gold, raw intact, out of control. Beauty behold, storybook dripping in gold. Overlooked for a minute, but now he's gaining control. Not fading on hold, no debating the story. My soul is art, give me glory. Dream stuck in purgatory, now catch him and write your story. I'm in love with the money now. Slugs wanna bring me down. Earth keeps on spinning around. Through you like an ultrasound. Antic with the ultrasound. When we gonna get it now? Feel like time is running out. Turn on the lights, don't dim them down. I'ma shine so bright, we gonna turn it loud. Crowd ignites as we burn it down. Just some cats from a small town that made their way all around. It's on now.
Good crap, where's that one? I haven't done this in too long. Spike, you need to stop going out of town. I have no idea where that is. Hey. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Vanguard for Spike. That one. There it is. Okay, for Spike. I didn't have a bar mitzvah. I had a bat mitzvah Cohen. I am Matt Wright, and together we are traversing the muddied waters of freedom.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
That's not true. I literally had a bar mitzvah. Speaking of bar mitzvahs, I have been at what my cousins threw a weekend-long bar mitzvah for their son and daughter, who were ironically turning 12 and 13, which are the ages for it. So they shared their bar and bat mitzvah. And long story short, it ended with a salmon buffet at the Hyatt Villa Christina in downtown Atlanta. So I've had a Jew-tastic
Jew-tastic.
weekend. Well, a Jew-tabulous weekend.
And more importantly, you and I both seem to be safe for at this moment anyway from Hurricane Dorian, who has something against
America.
Well, just the Bahamas, really.
Oh yeah, no, they hate.
Hurricane Dorian hates the Bahamas.
Hates the Bahamas. We were told Dorian was going to be here today.
Yeah.
And then that became Wednesday. And now I don't know what the last track was. I'm so far up in the hills now, I don't even care.
I was going to say, now it's like next Thursday.
October 4th, it'll be done with the Bahamas. And then it's going to work its way. I mean, I would not want to be in the Bahamas.
No, God, no.
Right now. God. Oh, my Lord.
I absolutely would not want to be in the Bahamas right now. I'm surprised the Bahamas are still there. They're going to be like the lost city of Atlantis if this keeps going the way that it is. It is rough. Like, I've seen some videos and pictures from it that is truly and there's not anything you can do about it because it's a hurricane. That's truly a thoughts and prayers one, because it's not like, let's take action against, Trump wants to. Trump tried to nuke this damn thing, but no. It won't work. Well, now look. Well, now what are we stuck with?
A hurricane.
Right. First and foremost, allow me to thank Casey Martin.
Ooh.
For the cava that I'm drinking today, courtesy of the fine people at the aptly named Muddy Water Cava Bar.
Muddied Water. Not Muddied Waters.
No.
Just the one.
They definitely stole the name from us and not the other way around.
Definitely not, and also singular. Ours is a plural.
Right, and past tense.
A multi-cult. And past tense.
Our water has already been muddied. They are muddying theirs.
Just their one.
Which
is kind of disgusting.
Right, just their one.
Ours, water. It's been muddied. Allow me to thank Kroger for my delicious purified drinking water.
Bulavanaka.
And this is Georgia Kroger purified drinking water, by the way.
Oh, so that is much better than South Carolina.
Well, one would assume. It's better.
One can only assume.
One can only assume that the Georgian water is better, but we'll see.
You know that the Georgian water is saving babies on a daily basis, as opposed to the South Carolina water, because of the abortions. The abortion.
Oh God. Yeah.
Because of those.
Oh God! All the aborted babies in this area.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Bula to Frank Eggett, good buddy of mine who I saw yesterday, actually. And Max Meeks, author, one wants to know if you've read his book yet.
Yes. I have not, Max. I thought I packed it when I fled. It was much like when Moses and his people fled Egypt. Except the parting waters was happening in the Bahamas.
Did you just compare
all the other
yourself to
dynamics
Moses?
Often, yes.
Okay.
This example of paralleling. I also am in an interracial relationship.
That's more than I knew about Moses.
What's that?
That's more than I knew about Moses.
He was in an interracial. There's a whole story about it. The people got mad, and so God gave them leprosy. You want to get mad? Get mad about having leprosy. Anyway, so Max, I think I told Max that I got his book. Did not bring it because I'm really smart. I did bring my wife. I brought my clothing, my toiletries, my mother, and my dog. Nailed that. The book I did not get. And I did not bring... I'd like to take a moment of silence. If we can keep in our thoughts and prayers Chris Reynolds' face that I meant to bring, but it was vetoed at the last minute. it had to stay behind in what we're told is the path of Dorian any minute now. Once it's done with the Bahamas,
right? After it destroys the Bahamas,
if we can all just think positive vibe energies towards the direction of Chris Reynolds' head that I cut out from a printout that's in Myrtle Beach at my home. But no, I did not get your book. I cannot wait to go back and get it so that I can read it. Because it's I'm really excited to read it. Like literally, I got it and then we started evacuating. So no, I haven't gotten a chance to read it, but I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be one of the first things I do when I get back.
Max also says go to Carter's Lake. It's in Jaspers and between the mountains. While you were out fleeing from the hurricane.
Yeah, because I'm in the sticks. Max, if you know Jasper, you know where I am.
Yeah.
We're out here.
Yeah.
Like we are in the sticks. Like when I say we're near Atlanta, I mean that we're in Georgia. I mean we're in the sticks.
I'm near Atlanta because you don't know the name of any other city in Georgia.
You know, Atlanta. It's an hour from Atlanta, right. But it doesn't feel like it's an hour from Atlanta. You don't look out at the pond and the back 40 and the front 40 and think, goodness, I bet we're an hour from Atlanta. You would think that we're many measures of time.
many
of your choice.
Many clicks away.
Many clicks. We're a few humps away from Atlanta. But no, just about an hour drive.
A good fortnight away by horseback.
It's like Oregon Trail times.
Right.
You would die of dysentery on the way to Atlanta.
Because that's the only way to die on the Oregon Trail is by dysentery.
The only way anyone died back then was dysentery. Being shot by natives and dysentery. Those are the two big ones.
Yeah. I left behind.
Now it's heart disease and cancer.
Yeah, I mean, I left behind so many children on the Oregon Trail. They were like, "Oh, Timmy broke his leg. He's gone."
Bye.
Yeah, sorry, man. You mean
Timmy
nothing
can't
to
help
me. You're nothing but ones and zeros. I'm leaving you behind. I will fix this by killing a buffalo, and my family will be happy again.
I've got to focus my resources on repairing these wheels. I can't deal with Timmy's nonsense right now. We live in a time with like a 30% infant mortality rate. We'll just make another Timmy.
Right.
Okay. This is just we'll get to Timmy making once we get to Oregon.
Right.
We're thinking about our species here.
Having babies on the Oregon Trail, no problem. Keeping those babies alive on the Oregon Trail, real difficult.
Major problem.
Real problem. But
not even trying. Not even trying. Not even trying. I've got here are the things I have to do. I have to impregnate my wife. I have to keep the wheels good. I got to keep my wheels clean. And I got to keep the rims clean, and I got to kill buffalo, and that's straight up. I got to keep that's it. That's it, and that's all I'm worried about on this trip to Oregon because, Timmy, go with God, Timmy. Like I don't know what to tell you. We gave you a good life, as best as we could. You always had clean wheels and buffalo.
There was so much buffalo,
and now you're dead.
There was
so much buffalo.
So much buffalo, which is why there's not a lot today. Is because on the Oregon Trail we killed all of them in our 5th grade computer rooms.
No, and oddly enough, a lot of Timmys, which is unintuitive. You would think with the sheer number of Timmys left behind that there wouldn't be any, and yet, am I still here?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay, good.
You actually look better than you have this entire episode. So
really, because you are like 2 frames per second on my side, but that's fine. That doesn't really matter as long as I look good.
Yeah, you look good
to our people.
Right.
Okay, good. So if I look good, yeah. So Timmy, Buffalo. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show.
I always felt bad in Oregon Trail because it's like you had to like name your kids, and I always named them after friends of mine that were sitting like around me, and then they would die, and I was like, "Sorry, Eric. Sorry,
You're
Joey."
in the computer station. In the computer station, sitting next to your friend, like, I got some bad news, Andrew. We had to keep the wheels going.
We had to keep the wheels going. You died.
We're running low on ammo. We're running low on ammo. I had to keep the wheels going.
Sorry, buddy.
This is a team effort. You had to take one. This is a team effort. You're cogging the wheel. That's all it is.
But thank you so much for taking that bullet for us, because
thank you.
You're keeping Amy over here alive.
Yeah, we needed a woman.
That's right. I've never made it past the Mississippi, so hopefully that comes in handy later.
As one would think.
Right.
I'm surprised that there wasn't like a Donner Party mode where like if it got real bad, you could eat Timmy, like, because that's realistic, guys. I mean, let's be serious here. Like, you're gonna die. Timmy died of something other than dysentery.
Right.
His leg's broken. Like, it's not like, otherwise he's okay. The meat's good other than that. Right? And and there's no buffalo.
So you may.
And those rabbits are hard as hell to hit. Did you ever actually hit a rabbit?
Yeah. I had to hit rabbits.
Really?
I was like, there were times that a rabbit was the only thing that was available, and Timmy needed food to fix his broken leg.
Oh, see.
So I had to go kill a rabbit, and like
the reality, Timmy. The reality, Timmy, is that now it's Timmy. Timmy's got it. We're eating Timmy because I'm saving these bullets for buffalo, Tim, and we're gonna have plenty of time to make Timmy's once we're in Portland or wherever. Did Portland exist back then? I don't know.
No, Portland didn't exist. Oh yeah, I hear.
When we get to Seattle,
I hear of the great Native American land, Portland.
Portland. We'll stop there on the way to Seattle, and then we'll start making Timmy's.
Portland, where they brew all their coffee, and people still wear flannel here in the 1700s, whenever the 1800s. Well, I don't know when the Oregon Trail took place. Apparently,
it was the 1800s, but that was where all the best native IPAs were brewed. Was in Portland. So, guys, you might not believe this, but actually have a show with some news.
We do. On the opposite side of the country, not in Portland. Not in Portland. All the way on the opposite side of the country, in Boston, Massachusetts, over the weekend, a little bit of a parade took place.
Go ahead.
It was a parade, and parades are normally, you think about them for New Year's or major holidays or gay pride,
right.
But for this one, it was the Straight Pride Parade taking place in Boston, Massachusetts.
The Straight Pride Parade.
The Straight Pride Parade.
Because you can have a straight parade.
Okay, so I should have got a flag for I should have gotten a flag for the Straight Pride flag for an overlay, but did you see it? Did you see the flag that they were using?
No, I'm sure it was as gay as I can think of, though.
It was half blue, half pink. It looked like a sort of a
good trans flag.
Yeah, it looked like a redux of the trans flag a little bit. Like it was in diagonal, and then like it was the male symbol and the women's signal like on the appropriate.
So they used a trans flag and said, this looks straight. This looks as straight as our parade's going to be. And they were correct.
Yes. But hundreds of people marched under the motto, "It's great to be straight," while a man in a shark costume chanted, "Straight lives matter."
In a shark costume?
In a shark costume. Not
sure.
Sharks are apparently very straight, or at least they're anti-gay. I'm not 100% sure which.
This sounds a lot like if a bunch of gay people got together and said, let's make something that feels straight. Like this feels like a caricature of straightness. We're gonna have a shark.
We're gonna have
a shark, and we're gonna yell out.
Totally lost you there. But yeah, we're gonna yell out things like it's great to be straight and straight lives matter. Another guy dressed as Santa Claus held the straight flag and welcomed any heckling that came his way, which I am certain was a lot. Still not back. Okay.
Yeah, I would think so. And I am equally certain. Am I not here?
No, not really.
Hi. Oh,
I mean, you
good.
have a very pensive look on your face, though, so it's nice.
Okay, good. I want the freeze frame to be really bad. That would be the best part. I'm still not here.
You're not.
It's just I'm not here.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm just talking to myself right now.
I mean, I can hear you, and everybody else can hear you. But I'm guessing you can't hear me. Oh, you're back, sort of.
Oh, good. All right. So I'm pretty sure that Santa was not Tom Arnold.
No, probably not Tom Arnold, because that would have just invited more heckling. More people actually showed up to the event to protest the event than showed up to march in the event. And the protesters shouted the very obvious and easily accessible Nazi scum. Because when you want to attack somebody for their ideas, you just immediately throw down the Nazi card.
That they're Nazis,
That they're Nazis.
Yeah.
They also were shouting out things like "Boston doesn't want you." Could be true.
That's probably true.
Don't know if they want to speak for everybody in Boston, but I get it. You know, like I don't know if they took an official vote. And we outnumber you, and I'm not sure who was doing the polling there, but it's probably accurate.
Those two statements are, I would say, we could guess were factually accurate. Over, like on the whole.
Right. Overall, probably pretty close to accurate.
Right.
Libertarian presidential candidate and Walmart parking lot masturbator Adam Kokesh showed up to give a speech.
We can never talk about Adam Kokesh without you bringing up the fact that he masturbated
in a Walmart parking lot. Yeah, no, I mean he just. If you get caught doing that, it's like the old joke of, I built 27 bridges, but they don't call me Frank the Bridge Builder, do they? And it's like, no. And it's like, and I built 42 houses, but they don't call me Frank the House Builder, do they? No. And I dug 49 ditches, but they don't call me Frank the Ditch Digger, do they? No. But you have sex with one cow.
So I like that. That's funny. That is funny.
I cleaned that up for this show only.
I appreciate that, because I'd hate for that to be a dirty joke on this show. I have a joke about a moth, but I don't think we have time.
No, we don't have time for the moth joke.
Wait, so you have sex with one moth.
You have sex with one moth.
So yeah, Adam Kokesh shows up, did not masturbate, oddly, at this parade. Probably would have been appropriate.
He didn't get caught masturbating at this parade.
He didn't get caught, at the very least. He didn't masturbate as part of his, I think he was like the keynote speaker or something like that. And so he gave his speech where he pretty much made fun of the straight pride people, but also told them that, your enemy isn't the people on the other side of this picket line or whatever. It's the people that put those barriers up, which is kind of a cool little quote. And then he went out, they cut off his mic because they didn't like his speech, because they're totally heterosexuals. And he then went out into the crowd of protesters with his free hugs shirt and gave out free hugs.
Yeah.
So it ended nicely. And we don't think he masturbated.
Right. And I would say the most ironic thing about the Straight Pride Parade was the fact that Milo Yiannopoulos, the outspoken gay man,
very gay,
was the grand marshal of the Straight Pride Parade.
Yeah, I mean, guys, so we here at Muddied Waters are a firm believers in the assertion that there is no that all parades are in fact gay, and or at least I am. I don't know. I just kind of took the liberty for Matt there.
No, I mean, so
but
as a person who was born in Pasadena, California, famous for things like the very first In-N-Out, the birthplace of me, the USC Trojans, and the Rose Parade, I have learned to hate parades from a very young age. As all these...
There are two kinds of...
as all of these people come to my city, my fair city in Southern California, to riddle it, being drunk at 7 a.m. with rose petals. Because everything's made out of roses that day, and I hate that day every year, which is also New Year's.
And Matt, it's also what?
New Year's Day.
Oh, that's a good way to start the year.
Yeah.
I can't think of many things that are more gay than a bunch of people showing up to throw rose petals everywhere.
All the floats are made out of roses.
It's pretty gay.
It's gay.
I mean, if you watch the Macy's Day Parade, those floats are all obviously gay.
They are all into same-sex relationships.
Those are same-sex marriage floats.
Yes.
All of those floats are married. We're not able to get married prior to June of 2015 on my birthday. And so gay, it was straight pride parade, which was marshaled by a really, really gay guy, like super
gay,
flamboyantly, like his YouTube videos smell good. He's really gay. And so his and then they have the trans flag and a guy dressed as basically a furry. I mean, a shark isn't furry, but it's in the furry kingdom, I would assume. You got a furry and you have a chronic masturbator.
Right. I mean, it was
like, this was a gay. This wasn't just a gay parade. It was like a stereotypical dangerous gay parade with masturbators and sharks.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 2 steps away from being the gay pride parade.
In that it's gay, or it would have to take 2 steps back from its gayness. Step down in gayness. It's like a gay aggression parade. I'm just talking to myself, aren't I?
No, you're still here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, there was a gay aggression parade, like an angry gay parade, as opposed to like a happy, well-adjusted gay parade.
Yeah.
So that happened in Boston.
So that happened. So in other gay news,
this is a gay episode. This is an episode about gayness.
This is a gay episode.
This is the hashtag Butt Stuff Nation episode.
Kansas University, the famous Jayhawks, out there in Kansas.
Okay.
The faculty.
Famous Jayhawks.
Yeah, that's their school mascot, the Jayhawks.
I believe you.
It's true. I have it right here in the notes. That's how I know it.
Good job.
Yeah. Kansas University faculty is staging massive protests and doing a whole lot of complaining because they want Chick-fil-A removed from campus for being a bastion of bigotry after being relocated from their previous location, which was not centrally located, to prime real estate on campus. They also want to get rid of the Chick-fil-A coin toss at the start of Jayhawks games. And did I lose you? You back? Okay, good. So Chick-fil-A...
Yeah, I'm back.
Cool. So Chick-fil-A paid a bunch of money in order to get the sponsorship of the coin toss. So at the beginning of every Jayhawks game, they're going to go out there and the announcers are going to say, and now everybody turn your heads to the field for the honorary Chick-fil-A coin toss, where the ref would go out in the middle and he flips the coin and somebody calls heads or tails, and then they say, would you like to kick or receive? And people are pissed off about this. They have accused university leaders of being more concerned about money and corporate sponsorship than the physical, emotional, and mental well-being of marginalized and LGBTQ people. Now, Chick-fil-A was already at Kansas. They were already at Kansas University. People could go there and they could get their number ones with pepper jack, with a Dr. Pepper and extra mayo, because that's the only way to get that. And extra pickles. All they wanted, could already do it. But they just moved them from their one location to a more central location.
Right, and that was the straw. That was the straw on that.
Yeah, that was the straw that really, really broke that back. They moved buildings and signed a new 5-year lease, and that was where they were like, okay, no, we're done. We can't have this anymore. But with the move, Kansas ended up saving $2.6 million that would have been required for upgrades to their previous location and were required by the restaurant contract. So they said, look, we get to save $2.6 million this way that we can now spend on other things for, well, not the students, because, you know, they don't actually spend money for things for the students at universities. Right. But they saved $2.6 million by making that move. And they also got Chick-fil-A sponsorship for the flipping of a coin.
And so that's all gone now.
No, they're still fighting it.
Oh,
they're still fighting it. They're just they are trying to get them kicked out.
I have a feeling that the vast majority of Kansas Jayhawk students, the famous Jayhawks, I'm told, don't give a crap about this one way or the other. Like, I've met enough college students that, like, the student union people care about this stuff because they're all, like, practicing to become, you know, intersectional politicians who, and we'll be talking more about that later.
Yep.
The average student's like, all right, well, so where do I go to get the sandwich now? Like, I mean, they might have an opinion, but it's not terribly strong. Just like the average person just is, like, busy living their life. And the fact that a chicken sandwich is being sold by a company that a few years ago, the owner of it used to give money to some traditional family organizations, some of whom were opposed to same-sex marriage. And now that's not even an issue anymore because he's dead. Same-sex marriage is now the law of the land, all 50 states. And what their thing is now that they're mad about is that one of the charities that the Chick-fil-A Foundation gives to is the Salvation Army.
Yes. But the Salvation...
That's what they're mad about.
Well, the Salvation Army is historically against same-sex marriage as well.
The Salvation Army. Where do you go in I that there isn't some poor schmo there out in front of the store jingling the bell for the Salvation Army?
Right.
I mean, the Salvation Army, this is the hill that the student union, the Jayhawk student union, wants to really trying to pepper it with Jayhawk talk. This is what they're willing to, this is the hill that they want to die on. And now, meanwhile, if they just sit back, so everyone was happy for a minute about Popeyes because Popeyes came in and apparently was selling a chicken sandwich that was even better than Chick-fil-A's. But Popeyes is also Popeyes, and if you've never been to Popeyes, if you have ever been to Popeyes, you would not be surprised to hear that they've run out of chicken sandwiches and will maybe have them back sometime in October or not. Because
sometime next month.
Sometime next month maybe. That sounds about right for the Popeyes organization. I've been to a Popeyes twice, and one time I left because there was a fight going on there and between the staff and I think a patron. It might have just been someone's girlfriend. And then the other time I went to Popeyes, I wanted to try, what was it? Their catfish something or another. And then I saw someone else had ordered it, and I looked at theirs and I thought, I'm not going to try this. and I actually went to Chick-fil-A instead. That was 2004, 13? Anyway, I don't remember. But yeah, so anyone who was surprised to hear that Popeyes failed them, so Popeyes basically came in, made everyone feel good for a little while, and then abandoned them.
Yes. Now, this is not the first time Chick-fil-A's had to deal with this, obviously. California Polytechnic State University and Trinity University are pushing for the removal of Chick-fil-A from the campuses, and San Antonio, Texas airport famously banned them from the airport that Chick-fil-A is currently fighting.
Didn't that trigger the protect Chick-fil-A rule in the Texas, like in that now a law in Texas that you can't ban Chick-fil-A or something like that?
Yeah, they're working on it. I don't know if it's passed yet, but yeah, it's like you can't discriminate against a business or something, but it's the protect Chick-fil-A law.
It's to protect Chick-fil-A. You passed the law for Chick-fil-A.
I know you can't see the comments, but right now we have super fans, top fans, Facebook like badge approved top fans, Sean Whitehead and Jacob LaBelle getting into a disagreement on who can do the better. I believe this is a fried chicken cookout. Yeah, fried chicken cookout between the two of them, and they have to do enough for 25 people. So we better be invited to that.
Yeah, because we facilitated this
right.
little tete-a-tete in the first place. So I want to be there. I don't know. Jacob lives in Minnesota.
Sean lives in Florida.
Okay. Well, I'm in Georgia.
I'm in Florida,
So I mean, we're both relatively close to Sean, right. And then we can circle back. We can circle back to Jacob. I'm just outside of Atlanta. We'll circle back 1,500 miles that way. I listen. Anytime anyone wants to cook off anything, I support that as a taste tester.
I mean, that if more 80s movies went to the cook-off battle as opposed to the street dance battle, I probably would have liked a lot more of the movies.
The 80s would have never ended if it had been that way.
That's true.
Like
either that or everybody would have just died of like heart disease.
Well, for them, it would have never ended. It's like how the 1800s never ended for Timmy. It's still the antebellum era for poor Timmy.
That's right.
Actually, I think that was after the antebellum era. But anyway, it was the westward expansion era for Timmy forever, which in a way is kind of a nice favor to Timmy if you think about it.
It is. He doesn't have to deal with hurricanes that don't move.
I mean, he's the one that broke his own leg, so
stop jumping off the wheel, Timmy.
Right, exactly. I keep this wheel shiny not so you slip on it, Tim. Like, the whole point of it is to continue traveling. What are you doing? Now we have to eat you. Some nice smoked Timmy.
I will say that people at smoked Timmy, Jesus. I will say that somebody at Kansas got it right because they were like, the administrators aren't going to be listening to you if you if you're sitting here fighting. Walk over to Popeyes, which is across the street, and get your chicken sandwich there. And I was like, hey, that's novel. Instead of running these protests and demanding they get rid of it, just go to Popeyes or go to Wendy's.
Just go somewhere else.
But don't go to McDonald's. Go anywhere else. Just not McDonald's.
Ever for anything.
Right.
Don't go to McDonald's.
Go to Burger King. Go to anywhere else. Just not. You can get a taco from Burger King. I don't care.
No.
But don't go to McDonald's.
But you could. Don't do that either. But you could go to Sonic. Go to Crystals or Sonic.
Oh yeah, if you go to Sonic, McDonald's. Get the tater tots. Tater tots at Sonic are.
Oh my God, Sonic tater tots are good.
Right.
I had forgotten about those until this moment.
I never forget about this.
But
so there's a story.
Don't get tacos at Burger King though.
There's a story I have about Sonic tater tots.
Good.
Back in my drinking days, Which, by the way, Saturday will be 5 years, no alcohol.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thanks. Which means that this Thursday is my annual show with Adam Freeman. Oh,
good.
Yeah. So back in my drinking days, I was living in Virginia, and one of my buddies, Mike, he and I went down to see a different buddy of ours. I'm going to leave his name out of this because his wife would be very upset by this story. And so we went down to go visit him, and we were drinking. We were having a good time, and we end up getting. Jacob LaBelle says Burger King tacos are dank.
You know what? I'm not coming to your fried chicken cook-off now because where? Who are these? Shane Sweeney wants to tell us about the wonders of tilapia, and then Jacob wants to tell us that Burger King tacos are dank.
It's not Jack in the Box, man. Come on.
If you mean dank as in musty and filled with bacteria, like a dank dark room or a dank dungeon filled with the torturing of political prisoners, that, yes.
Right.
That I agree. Dank.
So we go out. Man, I'm trying to remember. Mike and I may have shown up drunk. It's tough to say. I was kind of in a haze of always being drunk. But we're at his house, and we're at our other friend's house, and we're Mike and I are starving because we're hammered, and Mike starts saying that he wants Sonic, and he's like, I want Sonic. I need Sonic. I need those tots. I need those tots. And Dave's like, I'm not going to get you tots. And he's like, Dave, I will get a hooker to give you a hand job if you go and get me some Sonic tots with chili and cheese on it. To which Dave said no, because Dave wasn't supposed to say the name. Because he...
You don't know which Dave. There's so many Daves.
There's so many Daves, but I mean...
There's so many freaking Daves.
His wife will know. Yeah, so Dave was like, no. Because Dave is an upstanding, wholesome person that I can't believe.
Yeah, Dave would never do something like that. That's disgusting.
Dave would never do something, but we'll just say that Mike got his tots. And...
Oh my God. Who would even... Of all things... Anyway, go ahead.
You know, I was like, man, that's a really expensive way to get tater tots, but that's, but yeah, whatever. Speaking.
I mean, let's. Side note: why pay someone to do something that I myself can do far better? Let's be honest.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean,
I've got many a year experience.
I mean, I know what I'm doing, and it's free.
Yeah, and it's
no
free.
Commitment,
and I can fit it into my own schedule. I don't have to work around somebody else.
I can literally, I work from home, and this is like, why would you pay? I didn't recall the tater tots being that good.
Oh, they're good.
But
they are.
No, I know they're good.
They're
but
good.
That's a lot of money for some tater tots.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it was wildly outrageous to spend that kind of money to get some Sonic tater tots.
Downright exorbitant.
But if I was Sonic, I would use that as my advertising campaign. I'd be like, somebody one time paid a hooker to give somebody else an HJ just to get some tots. You don't need to know anything else.
That's like just that.
Right.
Would you have those two guys explain this or recreate the scene? You know, the two guys that are in all the Sonics ads?
The two, oh, I thought you meant Mike and Dave. I was like, I don't think they would.
No.
Both of them are happily married now.
No, not Mike and Dave. I mean the two guys that are always in the Sonics ads. Have them like recreate that particular scene.
I think that would be their number one commercial.
Talk about viral advertising.
Oh man.
So speaking of hookers, what? I don't have the notes in front of me.
I know. I was like, man, I can't wait to see how this one goes. Speaking of hookers, Give me a second. I got to figure this one out. Speaking of dirty hookers, Hong Kong chief exec Carrie Lam.
Ooh.
Who is definitely doing
a
things
chief hooker.
Yeah, she is a chief hooker in charge. She has admitted that what she has done with the extradition law, the extradition treaty that they were getting ready to sign with China, she says that she sparked huge havoc, plunging her city into political crisis. She followed it up by saying she would resign if she had a choice and asked for forgiveness. Now, all of this is happening while the protests have been getting much worse. The police have been spraying the protesters with blue dye so that way they can arrest them later. It's like marking them and letting them go out into public. It's like, oh, you're blue.
We'll get you later, blue guy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The protesters are physically picking up canisters of tear gas and dropping them into liquid nitrogen.
Yes.
Turning them into its harmless solid form. Like,
I love these protesters.
That's like some 4D. That's like real 4D chess. Like, okay, they're throwing tear gas at us. What do? Get some liquid nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen.
When they throw it at us, we just drop it in there. Problem solved. We're already wearing the masks. We're already
These protesters are like, I mean, there's so many Asian stereotypes about them being like off the charts brilliant. You throw tear gas at them and they, cones over them and put liquid nitrogen in them. And like, it's like they're unstoppable. And they're like, they come out with bandsaws and take down all the facial recognition towers. Like, I mean, these are not people I'd want to have against me.
No, God, no.
Even if I controlled a massive police state, I would still I'd be like, okay, how can these people be on my side and or at least be, even if we have an uneasy peace, how can I have these people not protesting me? Because they're out here with umbrellas taking down a police state.
Imagine if they were armed.
Oh my Lord.
If they were armed,
it would already be over.
It would be over.
It would already be over. It would already be over. It would not only would it be over, but it would now be like destabilizing the Chinese government. Like, the only thing that is keeping the police state in Hong Kong and in China, in mainland China, or the rest of China, going is the fact that all of these people, the strongest things they have are umbrellas and bandsaws and liquid nitrogen. Like, if they had, like, guns, completely different level.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a feeling that's coming next. Like, if this continues, they're going to start getting guns, and then it's going to just ratchet up to a whole different level.
And so recently, Beijing has made vague threats of military action. So Beijing could potentially start doing a military strike on the people of Hong Kong. And they've made... So this past week, there were more airport protests, which is kind of where this entire thing got kicked off, was at the airports in Hong Kong.
Right.
And they've been doing a boycott of the schools, so nobody's been going. So China has massed troops inside of Hong Kong and across the southern border of China, just across the, I don't remember the name of that strait that's right there. Anyway, on the southern border.
I can even see it in my head. Yeah.
But yeah, along the southern border of China, across the waterway to Hong Kong, they're amassing troops there. Like, China is ramping up to something, and the people who are protesting in Hong Kong aren't backing down. Like, they do not care. They are like, no, we are our own state. Yeah, we have to live kind of by your laws, but we are our own thing, and they are fighting.
Right.
And this all started because of one bad law. And if they had guns, like we said, if they were armed, if they had a Second Amendment, if they had democracy,
this should all be. Yeah.
Not that I'm a fan of democracy, because, gang rape is bad. And that was a terrible time for you to freeze on me. But if they had these things, they would be in such a better position to, like, actually be able to fight these things. Instead, they're fighting it with umbrellas and just wily wits, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like, I'm just picturing, like, it's almost like, Planet of the Apes, where like the humans go and like try to do stuff, and the apes just end up taking their weapons and like using it to get like you can't outsmart these apes. And I'm not comparing them to apes. I'm comparing them to the characters in the movie, where they were just so crafty that there were anything you threw at them, they'd end up as like jujitsu. They'd take it, they'd be like water and take it from you, and now they've got it. I just picture like they come in with tanks or whatever the Chinese do, and then the Hong Kong people pour some chemical on the tank and it evaporates, and they it just seems like whatever they're throwing at these people, they just keep coming back harder, and it just keeps intensifying. And I think something's going to come to a real head, and I think that all police states are paper tigers. And what I mean by that is you've got less than 1% of the population trying to control the other 99%. And the way they keep that control is that they recognize that the vast majority of people aren't going to actually like fight against them. So when someone does, they just come down hard. But as soon as like 1 or 2% of the population's fighting against them, they're outnumbered. And then the other 97% is looking at this and goes, oh yeah, I guess we have way more power than we thought. So like even the most, brutal police state like a North Korea or a China or whatever, like once the people there realize that they vastly outnumber the people that would try to oppress them, it's over real quickly. And this could, I don't know this, but this could be a domino effect. This could be like the Asian Spring.
Yeah, what we're seeing happening over in China right now, in Hong Kong specifically,
right,
is it's hopeful. Like, you see people fighting for their freedom, fighting for being able to have what they want in order to succeed where they need to succeed.
Right.
And yes, this could be the domino effect where it just starts toppling over and over and over up to the point where people are just fighting for freedom literally everywhere. And it just started because people were like, no, if you want to extradite us, screw you. You're not going to do it. I'm not going to let you do it.
Right. Right. Yeah. It feels like a V for Vendetta situation where it's like this thing is spreading, and the more they try to stop it, the bigger it gets, and it just keeps becoming more effective, and everyone's talking about it. It's crazy stuff. We said this in the last episode 2 weeks ago. Imagine if we said two things. Imagine if the people of Hong Kong were as armed as the American people, and imagine if the American people had even a smidgen of the resolve of the people of Hong Kong. Either of those scenarios would result in a complete ending of the oppression that we see in both of these places. And we don't have the resolve, and they don't have the guns. So maybe we can get together and trade some resolve for guns and maybe get something done or something. I don't know.
Not really sure what the exchange rate on that is.
Like, I'll give you 2 resolves. Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Here, have an AR.
Here is my, yeah, exactly. Here's a grenade launcher for this resolve you've given me. Thank you.
The Hong Kong protests, they're not going anywhere for a while.
No.
I think that they're going to keep going. And we're just going to have to see what happens. And hopefully Chief Exec Carrie Lam.
Dirty Hooker.
Dirty Hooker Carrie Lam. Hopefully she figures out a way to resign because she says she doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, what was that about? So she's not able to resign?
So she's saying that because she was appointed and China has accepted her, she can't just go, okay, I'm done. Like, she can't step away. Like, that's her argument for it. And she's trying to get people to feel sorry for her because she can't go out to get her hair done or go to a restaurant, because anytime she goes out, people like confront her constantly. And I'm like, well, you kind of brought that on yourself, didn't you? You had to know they were going to be a little upset about this.
And she still hasn't taken this bill, or have they done that now? Because I know they had tabled it where it could get voted on any time, but have they actually taken it off now?
I don't think they've. So it's like off, but it hasn't been killed. So like I think it's still tabled.
Right.
Like I haven't read anything about them killing it.
Actually killing it. So just kill the damn thing. Like,
kill the bill, it goes away.
Just kill the bill. Like, if at this point you really think that you're going to just, time's going to heal this wound and people are going to just get sick. Like, people are talking about revolution right now and writing "Give me liberty" or "Give me death." It's becoming bigger than the stupid bill. Kill the bill, because that was a catalyst for the whole damn thing. They're not going to just get over it. Like, they're moving on to other stuff because you won't kill this stupid bill and try to bring some, order and calm to the thing.
Right.
So I don't know. It's crazy stuff, but it is very heartening to watch, like, a fairly robust police state try to stop something and just get owned every time they try to stop it.
Right. So yeah, hopefully we hear a lot more about it. And do you know what an easy way to hear about that would be?
Would it be if you had a podcast?
It would be if you had a podcast. And
oh my goodness.
And I don't know if you know this, but Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast.
I don't know anything about Anchor. Can you tell me more?
I can. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use.
For free?
For free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. They have
Oh, wow.
They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great.
That is amazing. Now, Matt, is it oh no, wait, no, sorry. Go ahead.
They will also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. That includes Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and many more.
Many more. Well, Matt, this all sounds amazing, but here's my concern. I just want to know two things. Will I be able to make money from my podcast?
You can make money from your podcast, and the best part is.
But now, wait a minute, because that's not my only question.
Okay.
You see, my other question was, so I can make money with my podcast, but surely there's some kind of, I don't know, a minimum listenership that I have to have in order to be able to make money.
And with Anchor.fm, there is no minimum listenership.
No minimum listenership?
That's right. You can start making money today with no minimum listenership at Anchor.fm.
Well, great day in the morning.
Great day in the morning. So if you're thinking about starting a podcast, go on over to Anchor.fm and get the Anchor app and get started today. But
I'm going to definitely have already done that.
Yes, you will.
However many months ago that we started.
About 5 now. But one of the cool things, there are multiple cool things that Anchor also does, is if you are so inclined, you can donate money to us for doing this high quality programming that you've come to love so much, at least once a week, probably 5 times a week. But you can just go on in there and just donate. Just one, it'll just take it right off of your credit card or whatever once a month, and we'll be able to continue delivering such fine, high-quality programming. And you also get to leave us, make sure the volume's up, you also get to leave us voice messages that we can listen to and answer right on the air. And we are much more likely to do that if you are one of our monthly donors. So let's hear.
We love doing we love doing notes from our sponsors, such as personal injury attorney Chris Reynolds, attorney at law.
That's right. So let's hear what personal injury attorney Chris Reynolds, attorney at law, has to say for us this week.
Absolutely.
Personal injury attorney Chris Reynolds here with your AOC Millennial Minute. Just quick fire questions, or at least topics. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on what just happened in the G7, Donald Trump trying to get Russia in there and I guess make it a G8. Also, the upcoming, I guess, third Democratic debate, and how it looks like we're only going to have 10, so probably just one night of that, and the requirements to be on there. Looks like we've also got, 3, maybe 4 front runners. Biden, Warren, Sanders, and then possibly Harris. And are those really the top four at this point? And then probably the most important, Sean Spicer being on Dancing with the Stars. I'd love your thoughts on that. Thanks.
I didn't know. I think my thoughts on that are that I'm going to watch Dancing with the Stars, at least for a couple episodes until he gets kicked off.
Right. I mean, if they are trying to go after their conservative base, they're nailing it with some Sean Spicer.
Sean Spicer, that's a throwback.
That's a throwback. Yeah.
Can you imagine the plot twist if Sean Spicer turns out to be like a really good ballroom dancer and runs the damn thing?
He wins,
and now that's what people know him as.
He goes on to compete in the Olympics, the American Olympic ballroom dancing team.
Yeah. He goes on to become like the greatest ballroom dancer.
Gold medalist Sean Spicer.
That is funny.
So the G7, I don't care. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, so this is statecraft stuff, and I mean the purpose of the G7, G8, whatever, and the G20 and all these other things are where heads of state get together, make proclamations, sign multilateral treaties that have already been agreed to, but they do these big ceremonies to make it seem like there's a reason to spend all this money for a bunch of heads of state to get together and waste everyone's damn time. So like it's not like major breakthroughs happen there. Like this isn't this isn't the days of the Oregon Trail where you have to meet someone in person to talk to them and make a deal. Like, Timmy's gone. And now,
and thank God.
Thank God.
Right.
I didn't even really like Timmy. He tasted amazing, but he was dragging down the party.
He really was.
And
thanks to the spices the natives traded us for bullets.
That kid, absolutely. That kid ate so much freaking buffalo, and then what does he do? He gets fat and he breaks his leg.
I know.
It's absurd.
Yep.
And so you've got, we live in an era where you can talk to people, in video calls online. Like the idea that these meetings are as crucial as people try to make them out to be, they're really not. I know people were saying, this is Donald Trump's bag, Russia, because he's trying to, get the Russians to be back in the G7 or whatever. G8, yeah. I honestly, like, it just feels like a lot of soap opera statecraft stuff that isn't really, like, I mean, my only impression is, like, I would much rather be hearing about the U.S. and Russia, like, arguing over, whether they can be in the same club as opposed to, like, threatening to bomb each other. Like,
right.
So in that way, I like that there's a normalization in that this is the kind of stupidity we're going through, is like, can you be in my club or not?
Yeah, and I mean, the G8, every year they meet, and every year everybody kind of focuses on one image, and they're like, oh, look what's happening here. And this year it was Melania, Trump, and...
Oh, and Trudeau.
Yeah, that's it. I was like, it was Macron, the French guy, or the French-Canadian guy.
Well, yeah, it was the French guy, but just not the smart one.
Right. And like I did see, so there was one part of the G8 that I really liked, was where Trump was with Macron, and they're standing at the podium, and I think I had this in last week's notes, but we ended up not having a show. But he shook his hand. He shook Macron's hand, and then Macron didn't let go. And Macron didn't let go, and he held on to it, and he continued talking. And then Trump realized he was being power played, so he put one hand over the other. And so Macron did the same thing to him. And they did like this tug of war thing, and he wouldn't let Trump's hand go until he was ready to. And it was like this huge power play, and you could see Trump getting seethed about it.
That is funny.
Yeah, like
so because Trump is like, he does this weird thing with handshakes where he like pulls you in, and it's like a total like you said, like a power play thing. And I know like they said Trudeau had figured out how to neutralize it by is or something like that, which didn't allow. No, literally no one can hear me.
I mean, we can kind of hear you. It was Trump will do it by grabbing his, and then it kind of went out, so it got really awkward.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Total power play when he grabs you there.
Yeah.
No, he like grabs your arm and like pulls it in, and then Trudeau figured out when you shake his hand, you put your other hand behind his elbow, but it looks like you're just embracing him, but you're really like stopping him from pulling you in or something. So Macron did like a full on like thumb war game with him.
Oh man, it was to like anybody watching it, you may not have noticed it, you may not have even like really considered it, but if you're watching it on a repeat, like I did, you're watching like this tug of war between these two world leaders in this handshake, and both of them going, I'm not giving up on this. I'm gonna win. And Macron ended
funny.
And Macron ended up, in my opinion, Macron ended up winning, because at the end Trump turns toward the camera. And, yeah, I think this is gonna be a great summit, or whatever the hell the G8 is, G7, whatever.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up because I like really petty, awkward stuff like that. And that's like
Adam Freeman, my guest on Thursday. He sent it to me, so I'll forward it to you. But
that's funny.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch.
So Chris's other question about personal injury attorney Chris Reynolds, attorney at law. His other question about the debates. They're squeezing out Tulsi. They're squeezing out Marianne. They're squeezing out a bunch of other people that who cares. So yeah, I mean they've always wanted this to be between Biden, Bernie, Harris, and Warren.
Right.
The four horsemen of the apocalypse. Or the democalypse, if you will. I can tell you one thing about this debate: we won't be live streaming it. That's one thing. Now
we do have the option, instead of live streaming the debate.
Okay.
We can do a show watching the debate, and they can watch along with us. We can do a watch along.
But they don't hear the debate. They just hear us.
They would just hear us talking about the debate. Like, it's really the only other option, either that or we get kicked off of YouTube again.
I mean, my only concern, I'm down to do whatever, but my only concern is that there's going to be a lot of times of us just like
silently
listening
there. Yeah.
So we're just both like, and probably with like bemused looks on our face. Like,
That's fair. That's something we can discuss that later. But yeah, like they're pushing everybody out. There's 10 candidates left. Andrew Yang is one of them. Oh, by the way, we didn't cover this because we didn't have a show last week, but Kristen Gillibrand, whose father was the lawyer for a pedophile sex cult club.
Yes.
She dropped out. So, that's one less daughter of a pedophile
she
sex
dropped
cult
out.
lawyer running for president.
One down and countless more to go.
That's right.
Pretty much, if you think about it, really all of them, in a way, are the daughters of lawyers who defended pedophile cults.
Yeah, every single one of them.
If you really think about it.
Yeah, if you really, really think about it.
If you really think about it.
Sarah Anderek says that's the only thing I ever knew her for, which means we are doing our job correctly. That warms my cockles to know that's because that's really the only thing to know her for. That's right. Chris Reynolds said the handshake was like sawing a log. It was.
I can't. I'm gonna watch it as soon as this ends because I love that kind of stuff. Is what I love. That's my favorite part of politics. Is like the most awkward
power plays,
cringy stuff. Yeah, the most like cringy. Yeah. Like, I love it. I love that.
I think Adam counted 10 power plays by the French president, and I only caught 8. So if you find more, let me know.
Not the power plays.
Let's see what else personal injury attorney Chris Reynolds, attorney at law. Which, if you're in Florida, and you are personally injured, and you need a personal injury attorney at law, I recommend Chris Reynolds.
I would also recommend Chris Reynolds,
attorney at law. So
attorney at law.
Here is more from our number one fan, Chris Reynolds.
Personal injury attorney Chris Reynolds here with some Bernie bits. So I read an article earlier this week about Wisconsin, because, I mean, why the heck not? Wisconsin, super exciting, right? And essentially it was kind of discussing why Wisconsin has changed from this more progressive leaning state to a state that is now going Republican. And it came down to, I mean, and one of the more interesting statistics I read was that last year in their state assembly, 54% of the vote was for Democrats, but 63 of the 99 seats went to Republicans. And I guess it all comes down to changes in, campaign finance laws and gerrymandering. But this is a really important state for the upcoming election. So I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on that.
So, now the one thing with a presidential election is that every state has a popular election, right? I don't think there are any states that are like pluralities of counties, or it's like you have to win the popular vote for that state to win that state. I think Nebraska splits their electoral college points into like 2 districts, and Maine does the same thing. Right. But even in those, you still have to win the popular vote in those. So the gerrymandering obviously doesn't affect that as much. It's more the congressional delegations that are affected and the state legislatures. But gerrymandering is, I mean, in case you thought democracy wasn't big enough of a farce, then you have the fact that the politicians, Matt's done with this show. He's going to read a book now.
No, well, I actually have visual aids for this.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, you've got these states where I know New York was heavily gerrymandered for and still is, and Maryland and California. Like, if democracy wasn't a big enough of a farce, the politicians then decide how the districts are split up, and they create these ridiculously shaped districts that have nothing in common other than creating the best demographic advantage for them to win seats and keep themselves in power. So it's just another reality of power. You want to talk about a power play? This gerrymandering is the electoral equivalent of like shaking someone's hand and not letting it go,
right?
And like putting your hand on top of his hand. So I mean that's welcome to the world of people being given centralized authority. Gerrymandering is just like a very blatant, absurd example of it.
And so, a friend of the show, Andrew Heaton, who many of you might remember from Reason, and he's got his podcast. I just forgot the name of his podcast, but it's really good. You should check it out. He's got
my favorite.
It is. It's one of my favorites. I listen to it all the time, and I totally forgot what the name of it is right now. He's got a book called Laughter is Better Than Communism. But in it, he goes through some of the worst gerrymandering things, and he draws pictures of what the gerrymandering districts look like. Here we are in Illinois. You got the skateboarding rabbit. Here he's got Florida's 20th district here in my home state of Florida. Let me know if that focuses. Yep, there you go. You got the thinker.
That's funny.
You got the thinker. And this is how they do it. They just kind of pick and choose. And typically, gerrymandering, you got a merman giving you the finger.
These are really good, actually.
Yeah, no, I mean that's Illinois 19th district. But it's a hilarious book. Two, it's a great chapter. But gerrymandering typically helps Republicans over Democrats. for the most part. Illinois, a little different, but pretty much anywhere else, gerrymandering does help Republicans over Democrats. And they will definitively carve up neighborhoods so that way Republicans will get more seats in the state house and in the federals. It's not good. It vastly changes the landscape of the nation by doing things like skateboarding rabbits, which is the only way I know how to describe that now. But there's no law really against it. Every once in a while, it'll go to a judge, and the judge will go, "Yeah, that's
an absurd district." But
you're reaching here." Yeah. And to remember, when they say they're reaching here, he allowed the ones that I just showed you.
Right.
And if you're listening on Anchor.fm, thank you, because you're part of our no minimum listenership. But check this one out on YouTube. And
by the way, I want all of our graphics. Before we were doing like fancy graphics that we put up on the screen. From now on, I just want it to be you with a book, just putting a page up next to your webcam.
There was no way for me to know Chris Reynolds, attorney at law, was going to ask about gerrymandering.
No, I'm serious. I want it to be. We'll print them out, and then you'll do that, and that'll be the new way of us showing graphics, because that is so much more organic and feels real and earthy. It does feel real.
You're going to be really disappointed by the second half of this show, then. But yeah, gerrymandering in Wisconsin apparently has done just a bang-up job of gerrymandering.
I was going to say, what was it? Democrats got 54% of the vote, but Republicans got 63% of the seats or something like that. Like that is an impressive gerrymander there.
Yeah, they did one hell of a job.
Hell of a job. Yeah, they did quite a bang-up job there.
All right, we got one more from personal injury attorney Chris Reynolds, attorney at law, who once again, if you're in Florida, call.
Personal injury attorney
Chris Reynolds.
Chris Reynolds, attorney at law.
That's right. You can find him on Facebook at personal injury attorney.
Personal injury attorney Chris Reynolds, attorney at law.
That's right. He should really change his name on Facebook to that, just for us and nobody else.
Like his actual name, yeah.
Right.
Personal injury attorney Chris Reynolds here with some British bits. So the British have been having a rough go of it.
Got a lot of bits, yeah.
Good old Boris Johnson has been campaigning on what many believe to be something that's similar to Donald Trump and his promises and campaigns, riding around in his bus, hate the EU and the outside world in general, isolationist policies. And so now they're at a place where this whole Brexit thing is about to take place, and there's no plan in place. And no one really knows what's going to happen. There have been no unilateral agreements made with any country, so trade and travel and movement and all that is all of a sudden going to be up in the air really soon. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that entire situation.
So, did I lose you?
So, go ahead. Go.
I was gonna say go ahead.
No, I'm right here. Oh God.
But you're frozen. But I can hear you, and really, that's half the battle.
Hearing me's half the battle. But go ahead.
Okay. So.
Oh, good.
So, with what's going on in Britain, Boris Johnson is attempting to become the Donald Trump of. Hey, you're back. The Donald Trump of England, and he's doing a bang-up job. Just looking more and more like him every day.
He looks like him, yeah.
You know, if you're looking for a foppish, overweight, poorly dressed white guy with bad hair to rule your country, you did great.
Strawberry blonde, yeah.
I know that he just lost the majority in the parliament. So I don't he's going to go back up to a vote, I think, and I don't think it's going to stick. I think he's going to be out. Personally. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with the election results or any of that, but I will say this. Because I've talked to two people, one Robin Kerner, who's actually going to be running as an MP in the next elections under the Brexit Party banner, and James Michael Smith, who's a British anarchist who's been following this whole thing with Brexit. And so if what they call a hard Brexit happens, or a no-deal Brexit, like Chris was saying, personal injury attorney Chris Reynolds, attorney at law, was saying, what that results in is the UK essentially not being able to trade with most of Europe, and not being able to have any kind of deals with Europe until they work out bilateral and multilateral trade and migration and travel deals with them. Otherwise, they're pretty much shut off from the rest of Europe. And the rest of Europe that doesn't want the UK to leave has no real crunch to start negotiating with them. They're like, no, you can just suck on it, whatever. And this is what happens when you centralize power and put the ability to make choices about things like trade and migration in the hands of politically self-interested, powerful people who want to use it to control you, as opposed to allowing the market to just do its thing. In a voluntary society, we wouldn't be looking at a Brexit or a no deal or any of that stuff. People would trade with who they wanted to trade with. So, taking it in an anarchist direction, I have no idea how far into this episode it took me to say I was an anarchist, but there we are.
1 hour and 21 minutes.
Well, yeah, that's a record, I think.
I believe so.
Quite a while. But to take that in that direction, these are the wages of statehood, of putting idiots who want to control you and do so in a very inefficient, sucky way in charge of your future. Is now you could potentially not be able to leave the UK or buy anything outside of the UK or sell anything outside of the UK because of bad, stupid deals with politicians. I'm not an isolationist or a nationalist, but I will say that if I were a Brit, I would want to see a Brexit. I would want to see as much secession away from these conglomerates of states as possible, including the U.S. I support full secession of all 50 states from the U.S. And so I'd love to see that happen with the EU. But I also would be worried about how this is happening, that I'm not going to be able to trade with anyone or go anywhere. Because can you imagine not being able to leave the UK?
No.
I mean, it's
cold.
terrible.
And it's rainy.
It's so cold, and you can't use knives to cut your.
You can't get caught with a screwdriver out in the streets.
I mean, it's terrible. I mean, it's I would hate
it. Carpenter.
You got to eat dick pudding or spotted dick. Spotted dick pudding. Dick pudding. I mean, that sounds like a nightmare.
I mean, bangers and mash. I mean, I know what it is, and here in America, it sounds much more appetizing than bangers and mash.
What are bangers and mash?
Sausage and potatoes.
Oh, that sounds. Why wouldn't they just call it sausage and potatoes?
I don't know. Because they're Brits. Do you know why Brits are called limeys?
Because they had Lyme disease? I don't know.
No, it's because they, when the sailing things were going on, where people were venturing out on boat, they brought limes with them for vitamin C.
So they wouldn't get scurvy.
Because they didn't have access to oranges, so they were taking limes. So when they would show up, they were the limeys.
Oh.
Yeah.
And by the way, sucking on limes is literally the best part of English cuisine. So literally just sucking on a lime, better than any actual British food. Although that bangers and mash, now that I know that it's sausage and potatoes, that actually sounds good.
Yeah.
And I bet spotted dick is probably something that's good too. They just decided to name it spotted dick.
Right.
Because they're British.
But yeah, Chris Reynolds is in the comments right now, and he's saying October 31st they leave the EU, not the AU. That's something completely different. He's saying that they leave the EU, and he says if there's no deal, there will be no quality control for medications, food, no trade or travel. November 1st might be insane. And we might see something like Hong Kong happening in England.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be rough. Because England is, I mean, a fairly large economy. And so them not being able to trade with anyone and no one being able to trade with them, I don't think this would affect trade between the UK and the US, but it certainly would between, or the UK and the Commonwealth countries like Canada, India, most of this of the West Indies and former British colonies. But that's not, I mean, I would imagine most of their trade is with mainland Europe. Maybe I'm wrong, but certainly a big chunk of it, and a big chunk of mainland Europe's trade is with the UK. So, I mean, hopefully in the aftermath of all this mess, countries will scramble to make trade and migration deals. But in that interim, that's going to suck.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
That's going to really suck a lot. And that's going to be a hard sell in an election cycle. That's going to be a very
difficult sell. Yep.
Vote for me.
Yeah, definitely lost your, and your face is perfect right now. It moved.
Hi.
Yeah, you're kind of back. So.
Am I back? Hey.
Yeah, you're back.
Hey, am I here?
Yeah, you're here. You're here now.
Okay, good. Okay.
So.
I heard you that entire time.
Well, that's good. You had a great face on for the first.
I can't wait to see what it was.
Yeah, I hope it's the screenshot that they choose for us on Nazi Book. So this over the past week there was a shooting. This is all you need to know about this shooting. The man was denied purchase of a legal gun because he was not mentally fit to have it. He went out and he got a gun illegally. The cops were called twice, once by him, once by his former employer, and nothing happened, and he got a gun and he shot a bunch of people, with many of them unfortunately dying. But he couldn't get a gun legally. He went out and he had to get one illegally. Stopping people.
That's interesting.
Stopping people from being able to get a gun legally who shouldn't have a problem getting a gun legally only puts them in danger.
Well, that's interesting, Matt, because I was specifically told that these gun control laws were going to stop those people from getting guns, not the people who we don't care about getting guns because they're not going to hurt anyone.
Right.
It was going to just stop the baddies.
It's going to stop the baddies. And you know what? It doesn't. It does not. But in his ever-present push to stay relevant, Beto O'Rourke, the famed Irish-Mexican Beto O'Rourke, repeated his pledge to initiate a mandatory buyback of assault weapons if he is elected president. And I'm just going to break that down. Mandatory means, obviously, not optional. Buyback means that they're going to purchase this back from you. They're going to buy back what once was theirs, which, nope.
It wasn't.
It wasn't ever theirs. It was the manufacturers. Maybe somebody else bought it. Then it became yours. Maybe somebody else bought it. Like, you may have bought it straight from the manufacturer or from, well, not Dick's Sporting Goods or Walmart, but, somebody else. And then it became yours. Or you may have bought it from a private citizen. It was never the government, so they can't really buy things back. This is not, they're dressing up this term of what it is gun confiscation. O'Rourke was on Saturday, O'Rourke was in Charlottesville, Virginia, and asked how he would address the fears of some Americans that the government would take away their assault weapons. To which I'm certain he stood up on a platform of some kind, a chair, a table, a countertop, a truck, I don't know. He stood on something and then knelt down to look him in the eye.
Knelt down.
Yeah, so he could get at eye level with him. And he
said, at eye level.
Because anytime he says, I want to be really clear, I just picture him perched on something.
Down on eye level.
Right.
I want to get really clear with you.
I'm going to be really clear that that's exactly what we are going to do. Americans who own AR-15s, AK-47s will have to sell them to the government. We'll have to sell them to the government. That is not giving somebody the option of giving up a weapon that they have legally purchased in their lifetime.
And it's not a sale either because they're making you do it.
Right.
They're giving you some money, so it's basically like hush money for their theft of your property. But again, this was in response to a shooting that a mandatory gun buyback would have done nothing to stop because he got it illegally, which means that there's no registry or anything where they'd even know he had one to make him sell it to them. This will affect people who use their AR-15s to go hunt 30 to 50 feral hogs on their property. I love that meme. That was funny. People that are hunting. It's AR-15s are medium game hunting rifles. People that are using them for hunting, people that are using them for home defense, people that are using them because they love to shoot, which I might be doing later this week, which is really cool. But because I'm out in the country, legally, of course, legally. But because I've never actually broken the law, and so I mean, that's who's going to be affected by this. Not anyone who's I hate. We here at Muddy Waters Media are strongly against rape. So what I want to say is that because I hate when we go to rape analogies because it's like it's almost like the lazy man's way of doing it, but it's a really good analogy for this one. Gun control, taking guns and stop mass shootings is like making everyone get castrated to stop rape. Yeah. Like it's stupid. Or anyway, it's just stupid.
Right. It's
beta.
It's cutting up your credit cards because there's too much debt in the world.
Right. But your debt's under control, but to stop the student debt crisis, you're going to cut up all your credit cards.
Right. I mean, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I'm going to get rid of my car to stop drunk driving. You don't drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have a car, so it's in danger.
It's one less car on the road.
Right.
Like that's literally the logic. There's one less car on the road. Well, your car was fine. You've never been in an accident. Yeah, but there's one less on the road. That's more likely to knock out on drunk driving. Like that's what we're doing here.
Right.
And so Beto is also selling shirts that say this is effed up, but he didn't say
He didn't say effed.
It says a cuss word. It starts with F and ends with K and then has ED at the end because it's past tense.
For all of our Christmas time loving fans, there's a movie that plays 24 hours a day on Christmas called A Christmas Story, and in it there's a famous scene where Ralphie is holding the hubcap and his dad's putting stuff in it, and it gets bumped, and all of the nuts go everywhere, and he goes, "Oh, fudge." And then the narrator says, "But I didn't say fudge. I said the big one, the Mac Daddy of all cuss words, the F -- word." Which is the actual quote, by the way. And
that was good. Thanks. That was a good quote.
Yeah, thanks. And that is the word that he put on his shirt that he is selling for his presidential campaign.
He's selling the shirt, and 50% of the proceeds are going to go to Moms Demand Action, and the other 50% is going to go to, like, I don't know, PETA or some stupid shit. But so Beto is... Here's what, and we were talking about this before the show started. Beto doesn't have an angle. He's not the original socialist like Bernie Sanders. He's not Barack Obama's vice president like Joe Biden. He's not a black woman like Harris. He's not a black man.
Harris isn't even a black woman like Harris wants to be.
Well, he's not a woman who isn't white like Harris. He's not a obviously homosexual black man like Cory Booker. He's not
even a fake Native American.
He's not even a fake Native American who eked out a victory against Scott Brown in a wave election cycle in Massachusetts. Like Liz Warren, he's just a white guy with a fake Mexican name who's just he looks like a pair of mom jeans. Like he's just as vanilla as a human being can be, and just corny as hell. And so his thing is, well, I cuss, and I don't care who knows I cuss. And the thing is, Donald Trump already took that.
Yeah, Donald Trump.
So like he really.
Donald Trump already has the market. He's cornered that.
Trump already took the FU. I'm Donald. I'm FFFFFGD. And unlike Beto, who there's plenty of words he won't use that are cuss words, Trump will use those too. So like Trump will use all the words, and Trump is the Dave Chappelle of politicians, and in many ways, and in
many ways, yeah, that's true.
In many ways, he's the Dave Chappelle of politicians, and yeah, I can't stand Beto.
I can't stand.
I can't stand him.
I can't stand many of the people you just mentioned.
I can't really stand any of them, but I just find him. He and Cory Booker are two of the phoniest, fugazi, smarmy schmucks. It's
Fugazi.
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 Fugazi. It's Fugazi, but
no, it's Fugazi in this case.
Is it? It's Fugazi in this case. Okay.
It's gay and Fugazi.
That means they're a fake gay.
They're fake. They're fake and gay.
Okay. Well, with Cory Booker,
they're fake. Yeah, they're fake and gay.
Fake and gay.
Both of them.
Yeah.
They are as fake and gay as a straight pride parade.
Yes. So speaking of people doing people doing things that are unpresidential, the president, Donald J.
Trump.
Donald J. Trump. He was in a meeting. He was in a top secret meeting. And he was sitting there with some of his advisors. And his advisors showed him this picture of Site 1 in Iran. And Donald Trump whips out his phone, clicks a picture of it, and he puts it on Twitter. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So now we have it. And you are now looking at it if you are watching our show live and not listening on anchor.fm. But this is the picture that he tweeted out. It's a very, very high definition photo, as you can see. And you can see where it says damaged support vehicles in the upper left, damaged gantry service lower, damaged support vehicle on the right, damaged Sapphire mobile erector launcher kind of there in the middle, and the damaged propellant burner trailer on the left in the bottom left quadrant down there. And he put that out on Twitter with a tweet that says, "The United States of America was not involved in the catastrophic accident during final launch preparations for the Sapphire SLV launch at Semnan Launch Site 1 in Iran. I wish Iran best wishes and good luck in determining what happened at Site 1. Now, I don't have children. I have never had children. I remember being one. Some people say I still act like one. But I feel if you have nothing to do with it, coming out the gate with the United States was not involved reminds me. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I have a friend who does have children, and the other day we were in a phone conversation, and one of her children runs into the room and goes, "I didn't do it." And I mean,
he did it.
I don't really remember how the rest of that story played out, but I mean, I feel like I know. I feel I know that something happened and he probably did it.
And he contributed in some.
Right. And so either he was going for.
I'm on again.
You're kind of back.
Here, just me. Nope. People, can I be heard?
Oh.
Just talking to myself.
There you go. You're back.
I'm just.
So either.
I'm back? Okay.
You're back. So either it was an almost tongue-in-cheek admission of American involvement or poking so much fun at the fact that people are going to blame the United States anyway. He was like, I'm just going to say it. We didn't do it. He tweeted a top secret picture while in the meeting.
He Snapchatted his private meeting. Now, you know what's funny about this is that my understanding of laws regarding clearance is that because he's the president, he basically can unilaterally declassify things. I'm not sure if... I'm talking to myself again.
Yeah, you are. But which is true.
Definitely talking to myself again.
He can
unilaterally... talking.
You're
but
well, you're gone.
There I am? No.
But yes, he says that he does have
a... Okay.
It makes it so difficult to finish the sentence.
If I'm not sure if I'm back.
You're back.
I think I'm back. Am I back?
You're back.
So I think he's able to. No, I'm gone again.
No, you're back.
Yep.
You're still here.
No, I'm gone.
No, you're not.
Oh, okay, I'm still here. So I think. Oh boy. I
can hear everything you are saying.
No.
I can hear everything you are saying.
Okay, good. So okay. So then I think that he can do that.
Yeah, he said he at least claims to be able to do that. Which.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, whatever. But
I think is true. I think that's actually true.
Yeah.
Because he's commander in chief, he can do that.
Right.
I think.
Thank you. Jason Lyon is saying you're still funny. Here. He's getting washed away in the floods of Dorian in the Bahamas. But then
in the Bahamas, yeah.
But then just days later, maybe day later. We'll say day later. He followed up
a day later.
He followed up tweeting out a top secret photo, which again, president, he's allowed to declassify anything, so he did. He tweeted out right in the moment. In
that very second,
he tweeted out a tweet talking about Hurricane Dorian, and he says that the people of Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, and Alabama need to be careful during the hurricane. Now, real quick, I'm just going to throw up a quick graphic. Here is the pathway of Hurricane Dorian as of that date. If you take a look at where the purple section there is in the middle, that's going to be like where the most intensity is, and that's right around the Bahamas, where Dorian apparently really likes because it has remained there since this day. Now, if you move upward, you can see that it's going to hit the coast of Florida and a little bit of Georgia there. Savannah's probably going to get some wreckage, and then up the coast of South Carolina and to North Carolina. And if you aren't very well versed in American geography, the state to the left above Florida that you can see all of it, that's Alabama. Now, there's no risk of Dorian hitting Alabama in that. So if you are in Alabama and you believe the president's tweet, don't worry, you're fine. As is probably everybody else in the...
You're probably, if you're not the Bahamas, fine.
Right.
Now, I want to say this. Imagine, so what happens if for some reason this storm somehow hits Alabama? It's just me now.
No, it's not.
I'm just talking to myself.
You're not. Yeah.
Okay. So what happens if Dorian actually hits Alabama? defying all expectations.
Defying all expectations, making its way all the way across Florida, parts of Georgia, and hitting Alabama.
And hitting Alabama.
I mean, and then somehow going back and hitting South Carolina and North Carolina. Because, I mean, that's the only real pathway it can take. That would be a feat, and I will issue a formal apology to the president for making fun of him for saying Alabama.
And to the people of Alabama for telling them they'll be okay.
Right, and to those people as well. The 4 from Alabama that listen to us, I will apologize to each and every one of them.
Those 4 people
are part of our no minimum listenership.
Are going to be pretty upset.
Yes.
Our no minimum listenership might go down slightly if the people of Alabama went on your hot take and didn't flee the hurricane because you said it'd be okay.
Right.
But yes.
But again, you probably don't want to listen to me much either. But at the same time, I feel confident in this one that I can accurately predict that Dorian is not hitting Alabama. It's going to hit the Bahamas a lot. And then it may hit South Carolina.
It's going to continue hitting the Bahamas.
Yes, it's going to be 2 years from now, and Dorian is still going to be at the Bahamas, and we'll be talking about them like Atlantis.
Well, it'll be like those perpetual storms on, is it Jupiter? Yeah. That has like a hurricane that's constantly going?
Yeah, just constantly moving around.
That'll be Dorian in what used to be the Bahamas. Just sitting there forever. So another great hurricane-related hot take from Donald Trump. No,
we're not doing that story because it's fake.
That was going to be fake. No, it's fake news. That's fake not news, true. Yeah,
that's not real.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Sorry about that.
Fake news.
It's fake news.
Yeah,
we don't do fake news on the show.
Right, we don't do
ever.
I mean, except when it's intentional.
We don't do accidental fake news on this show.
Right.
If we tell you a lie, we totally damn well meant to do it.
That's right. I'll tell you what's not a lie. As of September 4th, tomorrow, you will have been the co-host of Muddied Waters of Freedom for 1 year. So, where is it? There it is. There is little baby Spike turning 1, which he can't see this, so it's even better.
I cannot wait to see this.
Yeah, so little baby Spike turning 1 year old as the Muddied Waters of Freedom host. A little bit longer for his own show. And in the last year, you've done 15 now, shows from the couch. This will be your 42nd episode. This will be your 42nd episode of the Muddied Waters of Freedom. There have been 75 uncontrollable laughing fits between the two of us. Most of them are from me. 100 references to being an anarchist. I did an update for today. 157 looks of complete confusion. This was hours of me doing research this week, by the way.
Are these real numbers?
Sure. 211 mentions of nipples. 212
nipples.
Now, 13.
Yeah.
Our Facebook page had 8,000 new likes before Facebook took away the ability for people to like us. Over 9,000 new followers on Facebook. A seemingly infinite amount of hilarious memes. And these numbers are completely and totally fabricated and only random estimates. But still, lots of research went into making up these numbers.
I believe you.
Yeah, and they're all 100% accurate.
No fake news. We don't do fake news.
No fake news. And honestly, the last year of Muddied Waters has been just fucking fantastic. It has been a blast, and I could not ask for a better co-host than you. And the only reason we are doing this show while you are not
in a farm,
well, you're in a farm with 3G internet service is because it's your anniversary show, and
brought to you by the Edge Network.
Boost Mobile is proud to present Muddied Waters of Freedom.
Cricket is proud. What is it? Straight Talk. Walmart's Straight Talk plan is proud to bring you this episode of the Muddy Waters. I've had so much fun doing this show for the last year. I'm so happy that I was asked to come on. I'm so happy I was asked to do my show. It is the 2 days of the greatest joy that I have often every week. It's always in the top 10, I'd say, of joyful things that happen to me in a given week. I absolutely love it. I love you, Matt. I love you, our followers. I love you, personal injury attorney, Chris Reynolds, attorney at law. I absolutely, it is like my favorite thing. I absolutely love doing it. Here's to another 15 looks of confusion, or 57 or whatever it was.
157.
You know, here's to many, many more years of this insanity with soon with better internet. Hopefully.
Right. Hopefully. We don't know what Dorian's going to do to South Carolina.
Yeah.
But yeah, seriously, over the past year, like we were friends before that, but over the past year, you've become much more than a friend to me. And people are always shocked that we have never met each other in person.
No, I know.
I don't know. But luckily that's coming to an end in November. And honestly, you've become like, you're my best friend and one of my brothers. And I would give you my blood if you ever needed it.
I appreciate that. And your blood actually works for me, right? Because you've got like type
O negative.
O negative.
Yep.
So that's like an actionable offer there.
Right.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, you can have it. I mean, I'm not using it.
Once it's out of you, I mean, have at it. No, absolutely. I love you too, man. I'm so happy to be on. I love this show. I love my show. I love the whole Muddy Waters thing that we have going. I love where we're going with it. Can't wait to actually meet you in person. We're definitely way more than friends. We're lovers. if you really think about it.
Digitally. We're digitally lovers.
We're digital lovers. There's a song called Computer Love. Does anyone else, just me, probably know this song?
Just you.
Just me. If you, after the show, you Google the song Computer Love, that describes my romance with Matt.
Right.
It's as gay as anything in a straight pride parade.
Right. Like this dates back to before it was called sexting and it was cyber sex.
It was cyber sex, yeah.
Right.
Just cyber.
Right.
So
we cyber sex. We don't sex. We cyber sex with each other.
We cyber sexted.
That's right.
Yes. I'm so happy to be a part of this.
And stealing a page out of your book, I have one final Jeopardy question for you.
Okay.
So we have 1 minute on the clock.
Oh, I get a minute? I only get my yes 30 seconds.
Oh, well, I've only found a 1 minute version of this song, so you get a full minute to think about this.
Okay.
Now, the question is, over the last 42 episodes, which one is your favorite nickname?
Do I answer it now?
Yeah, you can answer it whenever.
Oh, okay. I was waiting till the end.
I mean...
Where I give my answer.
Well, 30 seconds is good.
I think my favorite nickname was... Oh, man. Spike... The Constitution has no mention of federal immigration controls, which is why the U.S. was open to migration for the first 100 years of its existence. Border immigration, currently socialist Cohen.
I'm sorry. The answer we were looking for is Spike. Gonzo is my favorite Muppet, Cohen.
Oh, I was going to go with that. I swear to you, I was going to go with Gonzo as my favorite Muppet, and then I thought, no, I really like that one too.
Yeah, it was between that and the kickflip one. Was the ones that was the correct answer.
Because the ones that stung the heart the deepest.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
they were like the most true, and it was frightening. And I thought, well, maybe you're talking to my wife about this stuff, but she wouldn't know that either. So, yeah. So the other one was Spike. I once did a kickflip. Cohen, isn't that what it was?
Hang on
I did a kickflip one time and thought I was a big deal or something like that.
It was. Where is it? Spike. I one time pulled off a kickflip, or successfully pulled off a kickflip.
So that's actually true. I like really wanted to be a good skateboarder, and I had the ollie down, and I accidentally grinded downstairs one time. Did not mean to. But I and then I accomplished.
Of your life.
What's that?
Scariest 5 seconds of your life.
It was like I didn't realize there were stairs there, and it was like, and everyone was like, "That's awesome." I'm like, "Yeah, it was awesome," and I like peed myself. But I didn't actually pee myself, but but then the one time I did a kickflip also accidentally, and I'm like, "Yeah, I've been trying all day," and then I actually got it. And then after that, I stopped skateboarding because I realized I'd reached the pinnacle of my abilities. So that was also true. And Gonzo was my favorite Muppet.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I know it's wrong because you told me it was.
Right, that's the incorrect answer.
I know the rules say I was wrong. And yet, subjectively, I think that my favorite was the one about the immigration one. Just because I watched your face get red as you tried to say 2 paragraphs of multisyllabic words
in one breath.
So I think for many reasons that might be my favorite. But no, I'm so happy to continue doing this. And now, guys, speaking of my show that I love so much, I won't be doing it this week because I could do it, but it would look like this, and I don't think anyone wants any more of this. I think people only want HD Spike.
15 shows from the couch this year.
Yeah, 15 shows from the couch. I don't want to interview a vice presidential pick from the couch, but I believe that next week, assuming Myrtle Beach still exists and I return to it, next Wednesday I will have on John Phillips, who is Kim Ruff's running mate. If his schedule allows, he has been a real mensch in continuing to keep rescheduling these with me. But this one really was not my fault. There was a storm in Barbados or Bahamas. And Matt, you said so on Thursday you have on Adam Freeman, correct?
Yeah. So normally I bring on Adam Freeman right about this time every year because he was integral in me being able to successfully not continue to drink.
Right.
He was a huge help at the beginning, and he immediately stopped after that. But I still bring him on every year to kind of say thank you for being the support system. And instead of this year watching him try to fumble through some presentation that he didn't have time to actually put together like he says he will every year, what we have decided to do is a little out of the norm for my show.
Okay.
We are going to just tell stories of our drinking and drug days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you're going to get to learn a lot about Adam and myself and the stupid things that we used to do when we were drinking and doing copious amounts of drugs.
Well, I'll definitely be tuning into that, assuming, my 2G connection there holds up to be able to watch some video on the internet.
I'm just going to throw it out now. If Mom is watching, don't watch that show. Don't watch that one.
Yeah, no, definitely don't watch that one. And then is Jason's back for Fridays too?
I think right now he's only on Mondays.
Okay, so nothing on Friday, and then tune in next week on Monday for Jason Lyon, who is doing Mr. America, the Bearded Truth, and then tune in next week, right here, Tuesday nights, for the Muddied Waters of Freedom, where Matt Wright and I parse through the week's news with the cheer and splendor of a sweet summer boy.
Speaking of sweet summer boy, Spike, is
Yes.
Mr. April.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. April in the Libertarian Dad Bod calendar.
The Libertarian Dad Bod calendar, brought to you by the South Carolina Libertarian Party. Hey guys, if I know two of my favorite things are spreading the liberty message and my sweet, sexy body, and you too can share in my joys by going to Libertarian Dad Bod and donating $17 to the South Carolina Libertarian Party, and you will get a copy of the Libertarian Dad Bod calendar for the year 2020. It has me in it. It has Nick Sarwark in it, in a naked in a robe, and it has Vermin Supreme in it. It has Tom Arnold. It has
friend of the show, Joshua Smith.
Joshua Joshy Bear Down Smith.
Yeah.
And it has my friend Tyler in it. It's got
my
friend Tyler, and he's gay. And it's got a lot of people in it.
Yeah,
I'm forgetting.
It's probably got about 12 people in it.
It has roughly 12 people in it.
Roughly 12 people are in this calendar.
I named at least, I think, 7 just now.
Right.
So, and many, many more.
Right. And so Spike his theme was Sweet Summer Boy. He's in April.
Which is not in the summer.
It is not in the summer. So it's just a very odd theme for April. Also, Joshy Bear has my birth month, and I saw the picture, and I'm not going to lie, man, it's going to be hard to decide between March and April back on this wall. Like,
maybe you can alternate.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to have to just keep flipping back and forth. Anytime Josh is on the show, it's got to be Joshy Bear in the back, shirtless with the baseball bat over his shoulders.
Right. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, no, for him it made a lot of sense, especially since baseball season starts in March and summer does not start in April.
I'm also not a dad,
right?
And I'm also not a member of the Libertarian Party. America needs this body, and so that was the best vehicle for me to give it to them. Nipple Fridays was vetoed.
Nipple Tuesdays.
Nipple Tuesdays was vetoed by my wife, and so this was the only way to get my nipples to the world. And 215 times.
And I want to point out that now your nipples have been on the internet more than mine since the genesis of this show.
Oh, wait till the calendar comes out, friend, because my nipples are about to take over a sizable portion of the libertarian circles of the internet. That I can promise you. So Matt, if someone were looking to find this show on that internet after looking at my nipples and saying, I've had enough of Spike's nipples for today, I'm in my refractory period, and I'd like to watch something else, where could they go to find us?
You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/MuddiedWatersMedia. You can find us on Instagram at Muddied Waters Media. You can find us on Twitter at Muddied_Waters. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/Muddied Waters of Freedom. Nope. youtube.com/Muddied Waters Media. You can find us on Float at float, flote.app/Muddied Waters Media. You can find us on Anchor at anchor.fm/Muddied Waters. And you can find this in every episode of Muddied Waters Media at muddiedwatersmedia.com.
Everywhere.
We are on the
internet.
We are
literally on the entire internet. So guys, thanks for tuning in again. Thank you for tolerating my terrible internet signal on the top of a mountain somewhere in Georgia, which is apparently near a lake. And where we're going,
we don't need roads.
Running through the city, I'm a boss bitch. Flossing, stunting on my ex bitch. Check this, music with the message. Stressless, that's it. Climbing out the trenches, run quick, one shot, don't miss. Working through emotions, mixing up another magic potion. Through the motions, just one more time. Damn girl, she's fine. Thinking that's one of a kind. Yeah, but got you stupid blind like a Rubik's Cube. Lost in your mind, okay, damn. I'm in love with the money now. Slugs wanna bring me down. Earth keeps on spinning around. Through you like an ultrasound. Antic with the ultrasound. When we gonna get it now? Feel like time is running out. Turn on the lights, don't dim them down. I'ma shine so bright, we gonna turn it loud. Crowd ignites as we burn it down. Just some cats from a small town that made their way all around. It's on now. Out the dream catching. Took a mean lesson, converted to steam engines. I'm burning my past sentence, cut freedom at last sentence. Worthy in black linen, turning the past wishing I could give you this last message. Tell your mother that God sent you. Don't get too broken hearted, cause I'm with ya. Obstacles stall, but I'm quicker. Never let your dreams fall, just fall bigger. I'm in love with the money now. Slugs wanna bring me down. Earth keeps on spinning around. Through you like an ultrasound. Antic with the ultrasound. When we gonna get it now? Feel like time is running out. Turn on the lights, don't dim them down. I'ma shine so bright, we gonna turn it loud. Crowd ignites as we burn it down. Just some cats from a small town that made their way all around. It's on now. Now the lights dims, hat tricks with bright hems. Ecstatic the fact that she likes him. Hard on her flash, she attacked him. Struck gold, brought intact, out of control. Beauty behold, storybook dripping in gold. Overlooked for a minute, but now he's gaining control. Not fading on hold, no debating the story. My soul is art, give me glory. Dream stuck in purgatory, now catch him and write your story. I'm in love with the money now. Slugs wanna bring me down. Earth keeps on spinning around. Through you like an ultrasound. Antic with the ultrasound. When we gonna get it now? Feel like time is running out. Turn on the lights, don't dim them down. I'ma shine so bright, we gonna turn it loud. Crowd ignites as we burn it down. Just some cats from a small town that made their way all around.